Good afternoon from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 2:28 p.m. on the 9th of July 2027. I'm back for part 2 of reading Virtue, which we were not too far from the end actually, but I had a very important phone call. I had my debrief, so that was why there was a bit of a flurry of nervousness and I had to go off so quickly. He's just a wonderful human being, my doctor. So anyway, so I've brought the little boy birdies out to enjoy the afternoon sunshine. It's actually warmer out here than it was in that room. Can you believe it? It's odd. And we're just watching the 2 scrub turkeys running around the back garden, doing what scrub turkeys do best, anarchy and chaos. I see they've pulled all the newspaper that I scrunch up to throw in the little brazier from the birds each morning out, and it's all scattered around the backyard. So they've been very busy shoveling in other birdies' shit. But anyway, it's all good, isn't it, Bo? I'll just show you Bo. He's very happy. Say hello to the people, Bo. Say hello to the people. Yes. And here's Kermie. He got very excited when I brought him out. Very excited, weren't you? He was trying to bite me savagely, but I use these dusting mitts to catch them and carry them in and out, which are quite useful actually. They didn't get used for dusting, ironically, but they've come into good use for birdie num wrangling. So I thought I would finish reading Virtue out here, and since there isn't a lot of pages, I think it's only 1 and a bit pages to go, so it won't be too much of a hassle uploading it. And yeah, we'll just be out in the fresh air and the sunshine, under the trees of course. Right, let us continue with the story. We got interrupted by Marjorie has just received a letter from her young lover in Borneo to say all the reasons why she can't join him in Borneo now that her husband's died. And the narrator, who it never actually says the name of the narrator, I'm assuming he's male, replies, "Rot," I said, and rang off quickly. Right, let us continue. In the course of the following days, I dined with the Marshes a couple of times. Marjorie looked tired. I guessed that she awaited the letter that was on the way with sickening anxiety. Grief and fear had worn her to a shadow. She seemed very fragile now, and she had acquired a spiritual look that I had never seen in her before. She was very gentle, very grateful for every kindness shown her, and in her smile, unsure and a little timid, was an infinite pathos. Her helplessness was very appealing, but Morton was several thousand miles away. Now wait a minute, we've read that. Yes, we'd gone on to read about the letter had come and all the very civilised and very British stiff upper lip excuses why the young man didn't want her to join him in Borneo. No, sorry, I've changed my mind. I'll read that again. I'll just keep reading it because I can't remember exactly where we got cut off. And it doesn't hurt to repeat the superciliousness and insincerity and vileness of the narcopathic letter that was sent to her. Reminds me of someone I know, although he didn't even have the courage of his convictions to end our friendship with a letter or any actual human discourse other than mocking and deriding me by shunning me as a response to me playing message that came from my spirit. He acted out the song Killing Me Softly with his song. He acted that out, looked right through me as if I wasn't there, and then, as if that wasn't insulting and degrading and humiliating enough, went on to mock and deride me for requesting Zombie by saying, "Who requested that song? We all know, don't we?" Well, Mama T might be a former zombie revivified, but she'll never be an empty, soulless, fucked up NPC like you, my darling. Just saying. Anyway, let us continue reading. Morton was several thousand miles away. Then one morning Janet rang me up. "The letter has come. Marjorie says I can show it to you. Will you come round?" Her tense voice told me everything. When I arrived, Janet gave it to me. I read it. It was a very careful letter, and I guessed that Morton had written it a good many times, meaning he'd screwed it up and written it again and screwed it up and written it again. Because if you're going to communicate with a woman, do it right. Just saying. Like a real man with couth and dignity and a little bit of respect. Oh, makes you want to vomit a little bit in your mouth when you realise you loved someone that was so dishonouring and narcissistic and venal. And what a way to find out, ultimately. What a way to find that out. But, not my big man baby, not my circus, and certainly not my monkey, ever again. You understand? I feel like I've lost 200 kilos. Just gone. Freedom to the Mama T. Right, now where were we? Oh yes, reading the letter. It was a very kind, and he had evidently taken great pains to avoid saying anything that could possibly wound Marjorie, but what transpired was his terror. It was obvious that he was shaking in his shoes, as well he should be, dishonouring a woman. He had felt apparently that the best way to cope with the situation was to be mildly facetious, and he made very good fun of the white people in the colony. What would they say? Oh, the joys of suburbia. What would they say if Marjorie suddenly turned up? He would be given the order of the boot pretty damn quick. People thought the East was free and easy. It wasn't. It was much more suburban than Clapham. He loved Marjorie far too much to bear the thoughts of those horrible women out there turning up their noses at her. And besides, He had been sent to a station 10 days from anywhere. She couldn't live in his bungalow exactly, and of course there wasn't a hotel, and his work took him out into the jungle for days at a time. It was no place for a woman anyhow. He told her how much she meant to him, but she mustn't bother about him, and he couldn't help thinking it would be better if she went back to her husband. He would never forgive himself if he thought he had come between her and Charlie. Yes, I am quite sure it had been a difficult letter to write. It's funny it didn't occur that to him when he was back in England having his little adventures with her, did it? Suddenly how one being married suddenly becomes an all-consuming life raft of some kind of importance. When push comes to shove, babies. Well, morals are morals. Integrity and attitude are everything, including holding one's own line, staying sane in the membrane, and not letting any rancid motherfucker try to kill you with their fake love and soulless distortions. Right, where were we? Of course he didn't know then that Charlie was dead. I've told Marjorie that changes everything. Does he agree with you? I think she's being rather unreasonable. What do you make of the letter? Well, it's quite plain that he doesn't want her. He wanted her badly enough 2 months ago. It's astonishing what a change of air and a change of scene will do for you. It must seem to him already like a year since he left London. He's back among his old friends and his old interests. My dear, it's no good Marjorie kidding herself. The life there has taken him back, and there's no place for her. I've advised her to ignore the letter and go straight out to him. It's faint wafts of marijuana blowing on the breeze. I'm trying to figure where it's come from. I must be imagining it. I've advised her to ignore the letter and go straight out to him. I hope she's too sensible to expose herself to a very terrible rebuff. But then what's to happen to her? Oh, it's too cruel. She's the best woman in the world. She has real goodness. But those types prey on the best women in the world, don't they? It's probably quite a litany of women he's played that game with. I remember one, all broken-hearted, back in 2022. Should have known better than to fall in love with you. Am I right? But anyway, where were we? It's funny if you come to think of it. It's her goodness that has caused all the trouble. Why on earth didn't she have an affair with Morton? Charlie would have known nothing about it and wouldn't have been a penny the worse. She and Morton could have had a grand time, and when he went away, They could have parted with the consciousness that a present episode had come to a graceful end. It would have been a jolly recollection. She could have gone back to Charlie, satisfied and rested, and continued to make him the excellent wife she had always been. Isn't the multiverse delightful, how they get me to read these rather synchronous stories, and I just sit here giggling to myself about the absurdity and the ridiculousness and the bizarre nature of it. It's just delightful. Janet pursed her lips. She gave me a look of disdain. There is such a thing as a virtue, you know. Virtue be damned. A virtue that only causes havoc and unhappiness is worth nothing. You can call it a virtue if you like. I call it cowardice. The thought of being unfaithful to Charlie while she was living with him revolted her. There are women like that, you know. Good gracious. She could have remained faithful to him in spirit while she was being unfaithful to him in the flesh. That is a feat of legerdemain that women find it easy to accomplish. What an odious cynic you are. If it's cynical to look truth in the face and exercise common sense in the affairs of life, then certainly I'm a cynic and odious, if you like. Let's face it, Marjorie's a middle-aged woman. Charlie was 55, and they'd been married for 16 years. It was natural enough that she should lose her head over a young man who made a fuss of her, indeed. But don't call it love. It was physiology. She was a fool to take anything he said seriously. Indeed. It wasn't himself speaking. It was his starved sex. He'd suffered from sexual starvation, at least as far as white women are concerned, for 4 years. It's monstrous that she should seek to ruin his life by holding him to the wild promises he made then. It was an accident that Marjorie took his fancy. He wanted her, and because he couldn't get her, wanted her more. Ooh, indeed. I dare say he thought it love. Believe me, it was only lech. Oh, so delicious. If they'd gone to bed together, Charlie would be alive today. It's her damned virtue that caused the whole trouble. How stupid you are. Don't you see that she couldn't help herself? She just doesn't happen to be a loose woman. I prefer a loose woman to a selfish one, and a wanton to a fool. There is that, people of Earth. Oh, shut up. I didn't ask you to come here in order to make yourself absolutely beastly. What did you ask me to come here for? Jerry is your friend. You introduced him to Marjorie. If she's in the soup, it's on his account. But you are the cause of the whole trouble. It's your duty to write to him and tell him he must do the right thing by her. I'm damned if I will, I said. Then you'd better go. I started to do so. Well, at all events, it's a mercy that Charlie's life was insured, said Janet. Then I turned on her. And you have the nerve to call me a cynic. I will not repeat the opprobrious word I flung at her as I slammed the door behind me, but Janet is all the same a very nice woman. I often think it would be great fun to be married to her. The end. So I'll save the next few stories for tomorrow and the next day, and then we shall presumably have reached completion of these wonderful short stories. So wherever you are in the space-time continuum, be free, be happy, be wild, but never, ever, ever let the bastards grind us down. Bye for now.